got Tim hooked us up some awards, man, from racing at I-5 RC Raceway over the summer. It's pretty cool. It was like the closest thing I had to a club there for a bit. Its track is closed now. He still has the spot. If anybody in Oregon is interested in running outdoor 8-scale RC cars, we do have just a fledgling spot over there in Albany. It was open officially for the summer. We did do races. I got some awards for Nitro Buggy and Nitro Truggy. We held 2 races there. Super fun. It's like a little closer there. See that? That was for the... Anyway, here's... It says Nitro Buggy there. So that's pretty much what was going on before I had to ramp up for China Hat. I was living at that RC track over in Albany. I was just trying to camp there as much as I could. Maybe in a way I kind of knew it was, just wasn't sure how long it was going to be there, so I wanted to be there as much as possible. It's almost like a party house, you know? Like you want to be at your party house as much as possible because you know at any given time the old party house could go away. So and that was just over the summer. And then come sort of the beginning of August, man, I had to really start thinking about how this China Hat run was going to happen. Well, first off, my name's Craig Wesley. I was in 40 Amateur at the 2023 China Hat ISDE. I'd like to put up this video from Special Test 3. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. I mean, you can skip through all this jibber jabber and just go straight to the test. I just mostly wanted to point out that I'm not a fast rider. I watched a lot of videos from, well, every single video I could find from China Hat. And, you know, just to see, and all the videos are from really good riders. They're hauling ass. Some of them I know, and you know, a couple of them I've even ridden with, and everybody that threw up a video from China Hat was really tearing it up, really ripping. And so this Special Test 3 that I have up here, I'm not going fast at all. So I just kind of wanted to, you know, say that up front, is I don't claim to be a fast rider at all. I mean, a little bit of background, man, you know, like why not? This is my second year. This is my second year doing woods racing on the dirt bike. I picked up the YZ250X last year, 2022, pretty much to do China Hat. And I did it in beginner. So that was cool, right? Beginner was great. It was a lot of fun. I rode, you know, computer's chirping. I rode a fair amount leading up to that last year's event. And last year I tried to sleep in my truck for 2022 race. I didn't sleep. It got too cold, man. I got colded out. So I had to do that whole run pretty much on no sleep. I stayed on my minute, but I only had 2 checkpoints anyway. This is last year talking. But like right when I showed up at a checkpoint, it was already go time. So I was showing up at my checkpoints, like right at my thing, and I just had to keep going. And it got done pretty quickly, you know. I somehow managed to pull a gold out of my beginner run last year. It was cool. I'm pretty sure I just was able to stay on my minute. What else from last year? So I don't know. Let me just try to think if anything stands out being different from last year to this year. Not a lot. I mean, the you know, the place is the same. Um, I didn't practice as much as I did last year in preparation for this year. So, I mean, all right, let's just speed up to this year. The race was supposed to be in April, but we got a lot of snow here. I live here, and it was snowed out bad. I mean, maybe there were some guys from that signed up over in the valley yonder and everything that never saw how much snow we got, but it was, I mean, it was like feet out there right up until the thing. It gets really cold out there, and if we get late snow, the China Hat area is just going to be whited out. It just gets really cold. There's lots of trees and nothing melts. It also creates like horrible runoffs down the hills and stuff, you know, like little single, like, you know, the divot things when the water goes through, and just, it would have been horrible running the race. Like, even if it was like half that much snow, it would have been terrible. So late snow is a really bad deal. Also, if the race happened in April, I would not have been ready at all. I started riding, like practicing for it, a couple months before, you know, as soon as I could. It was pretty much clear out at another area, Four Corners out there. Doesn't seem to get as snow blasted because there's not as much trees as China Hat area. So Four Corners is a little north of there, north of Highway 20. Really good riding area, OHB area. And so there was practice there, you know, like while China Hat's blasted, Four Corners should be clear. So I was going out there, very cold. I had to go out there when it was super cold. I was going out there by myself, and there was actually another event leading up to China Hat. I can turn this down and keep it from chirping. The Fire Mountain GP, which was cool. That was also a little snowed out as well. I mean, we just got late snow. It seems to be happening like every year too. We start getting blasted in like February, March, man. Well, okay, anyway, so if this year's China Hat happened in April, I don't know if I would have survived it. I don't know if I would have been ready. All right, so it gets postponed. Things change. Summer happens, right? Lots of this, right? Lots of this. It was all about this bastard right here. The Kyosho MP10 Nitro Buggy. Hoo-wee. Fun times. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. That flywheel. Little sticky, little sticky. It was this all summer, man. Living out of the back of the truck in this. Fair enough, fair enough. So, but then that slows down, and it's like, okay, it's time to start riding. You know, like China Hat was on the mind. You know, it was a mission that I had to start to ramp up to do. So, I got about 3 months of practice in, you know, and I feel like it was enough to survive. I still got super tired, and I'm just saying, like, in this special test 3 here, I was whooped, you know. I was tired. This test did feature being in the trees a bit. There were some rocks. There was kind of that gravelly stuff with whoops, just really loose. By the time I was over there, it was just hard to decide what to do in that stuff. It was just so loose. Even if I had energy, I don't know if I could have gone blasting through that stuff. I rode this whole race like on just one setting. Like, I was going in the transfers just like I was in the special test. Like, I still don't really have the ability to turn it up in the special tests. I'm not there yet, you know. This is my first year in 40 amateur, and it just felt better just to kind of keep it on just sort of one setting and just make my checkpoints. I made all my checkpoints. We don't have results yet, but I mean, I made the checkpoints, as I kind of say in some of the other videos I'll put up here. That was really my only goal. I don't know that I could have, I'm almost certain I would have done it. I would not have made my checkpoints if this thing was in April. So I'm actually glad this got pushed back, because it gave me a chance to really try to practice as much as I could. and that was very important. Um, I was just lucky, you know. I live here, so I was able to go out into the desert and practice in those conditions. So, um, I'm just want to again clarify that this special test three is it's not a fast run, you know. But maybe some people that are curious about China Hat can just see like what we're, you know, what it looks like to be racing out there. I had a rule about my GoPro this year. I wasn't going to turn it on until I was at least halfway through. I didn't want to turn it on like in the beginning and start like trying to go fast because the camera's on and I have like energy and all that type of stuff. I did not want to do that. I didn't even wear it last year because I would have seen it as just a big distraction being so new to it, and I'm glad I didn't. Um, and I almost reluctantly wore it. I mean, yeah, I wanted to wear it this year, but I wasn't even trying to video a whole lot. I only wanted to get one special test and then just like some other stuff. Just mostly to know it was off, to not be thinking about it. And it worked out pretty good. Just knowing that it was off and I could just ride my own race and just be concentrated on that and not what the GoPro was catching. Speaking of the GoPro, the angle was not the best. You can't wear them on your head anymore, which is cool. I like that. They get clipped off by trees anyway when you're, you know, out there and stuff. So with them being on our chests and stuff, like we're like standing up and we might be kind of like this and it might be pointing down. I mean, it's the best we can all do at this point. You could put it over here like a parrot on your backpack, I guess, and have your little birdie over there, but I tried that. It was just too distracting, you know, having the little bird over there. So at this point, the chesty is all we can really do to get footage. So hopefully this footage is of use to maybe some people who are thinking about like what the terrain is like. I will say that the first 50 miles were pretty like what I was used to, like what I've been riding out there. I was fortunate enough to go out there and practice a handful of times. Um, but I couldn't clock even the amount of miles that race day required. Something about just going out and riding like no more than like 40, 45 even, honestly, was like the most I could really turn in. That's with riding with other dudes. They're not trying to stay out there for anything more than that. Almost seemed like 45 would almost take us all day also, with like stopping, looking at the map, and just I don't know. I couldn't even put up like even half of the race on a practice day. I just couldn't turn it in. I wasn't getting tired after my practice days, so I thought, okay, cool. Like, I guess I'm ready, you know? So like leading up to the poker run the day before, which was 38 miles, that was a lot of fun. That went by like that. It went by so fast, you know, 38 miles. It felt like the day was just starting, you know. I got it done. I was done with it by like 10:30, and it was fun. And I thought, okay, like, well, I knew the race was going to be harder than that. And it was. It was just way more whoops. Um, I do want to point out in the special test 3, I really liked the rock sections and riding over rocks and stuff. It just wasn't whoops, you know. It was like a break from whoops. I really like when I actually saw rocks, I actually breathed a sigh of relief knowing here's some non-whoops, and like no matter what, you can't go fast through rocks. Um, so I'd be creeping through the rocks, creeping over them and stuff. I did have a watch taped to my handlebars. That really, really helped me out a lot, like knowing what time it was. I couldn't look at the watch a whole lot, but I did sneak a few glances at it just to see what time it was. I was familiar with the area to a degree, and and just the watch really helped me know like where I was at. And I just, I just had a feeling I was keeping up a fair pace, fair enough to at least make my checkpoints. And the watch really kind of guided me on. A little ways through, I lost my little card that had my times written on up front on my little phone holder there. And so at that, all I had was the watch. I still had my times on my fender, but um, I only lost the card for like my last two, like towards the end. So it was okay. I already done enough to utilize the card, know my times. I had them memorized by then anyway, kind of. And it, I just took the special tests at my own pace. I knew it was a fair pace, um, and I knew I was keeping up a fair pace, and I felt good about that. And I could not, even if I had the energy, I couldn't have gone any faster than that. Um, I guess through more practice, more practice, you learn how to acclimate to those conditions. Just that loose stuff was a real challenge. I mean, anybody can sort of build up some endurance and start going fast through your normal dirt stuff and avoiding stuff and leaning and turning. And those are some good, basic techniques that I've been able to, try to explore the best I can. But when it came to that loose stuff that was featured in this test 3, I was like, I didn't know what to do. It was really challenging. Again, I wish I could see some of the expert and AA guys go through that stuff and see what they're up to. I'm sure by now there'll be videos of them blazing through it that we can all use as study guides. I mean, hopefully my video can be used as a study guide just for dudes that are just curious about the track itself. In no way would my video be used as a study guide for riding. I'm just trying to show what it looks like to be tired by mile, probably 65 to 70 miles in was where special test 3 happened. I clicked on my GoPro, feeling okay. And then I'm starting to go through some of the stuff, starting to groan and stuff. And then, I kind of make it through test 3, fair enough. By the time test 4 came around, like, that would have been terrible to try to video that. I was groaning so bad. I wasn't swearing. I was just like almost having to like kind of scream my way through some of the whoops, like, like the audio would have been horrible. So really, test 3 was the only thing I could try to capture without being too tired, but being tired enough. So I'm happy with how it turned out. I watched it and everything, and it's old test 3. A couple riders go booking by me, and they're the same people that were booking by me through the whole thing. So I knew by who was going by me how I was doing. Just the same few dudes were going by me, and I almost chilled out on that fact because I got used to them going by me. I became a part of their plan, and they became part of mine. We just got used to each other. We knew we would see each other at the next checkpoint, and I was getting to my checkpoints about 5 minutes early at each one, and that really helped me out. It just gave me an idea of what was expected of me. Once I showed up to that first checkpoint, I just kind of felt I knew what my pace had to be. Well, I had my times written down too, but it was cool. It's like once I made that first one, it felt like the goal was made, and I knew what the pace had to be, and I knew it was in there. And I finished at I started at 10:15, and I finished at 3:36. So that's 100 miles. Yeah, I had to be done with the race by 3:44, and I pulled in at like 3:35, 3:36, something like that. And then boom, like I knew like what the pace had to be. Like once I dead finished, like everything's over, then you just know like what's to be expected. After I got out of the loose kind of the gravelly whoops that were like really hard to kind of go through, where I was just losing a lot of strength, after I met up with some like just regular whoops, ones that I was used to. And I don't know if it was because I knew I was close to being done, but I was able to actually start kind of mobbing back through those. I kind of found a bit of strength. I don't know, maybe when we're almost done, we just kind of find like that last win just to get, get back to the old barn, I guess. But um, I mean, when I got done, I felt okay. Like I almost felt like I could have handled a few more miles of just like maybe even like slow rocky stuff. Just not those loose whoops. Those were the hardest ones by far. Were those loose pumice in the trees like whoops with just what looked like gravel on each side. Um, that's pretty much it. I mean, if there's anything else, I don't know. When I was on my route today, I was trying to think of what to say, being the day after and all. I did some talking like the day after the race that I'll have in some other videos, but I just wanted to do like a final and add it to this special test 3. But I also just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Craig. I was in 40 amateur. Like maybe some other riders are watching this, and I'd like to get to know them. And so, yeah, again, I'm a new racer. This is my second year of doing woods racing. I think woods racing is a good deal. I'm going to be 50 in 2 years. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to try to do motocross. We do have Christmas Valley. It is a mellow track, and they do have motocross there. I've ridden on it. There are beginner classes, but I don't know. When I got my bike, I just told myself I wasn't trying to do like be in the air. That's aggro. So I wanted to just concentrate on ripping through the woods and having fun with friends and getting down like that. Being on a track is a whole nother thing that it's like I just think you gotta practice that a lot more. Christmas Valley's not far, but it's not close enough to where I can just go there all the time. So I don't know how much practice I'll really get being on a track, and I'm okay with that. It's not one of my goals. My goal at this point is to just try to build up more endurance and just try to turn it up a little for next year's event. It's already in April. If everything goes, if we don't get snowed in again by April, and that actually means, I mean, we're just coming out of winter. There might not be a whole lot of practice. Mostly, it's about endurance. I mean, if I could go out to Four Corners and just slam miles out there, I'll be okay. I mean, and that's what I'll do. I am already looking forward to China Hat 2024. This year was kind of weird with it being switched around and stuff. There was still a lot of people out there, and yeah, I mean, it was a happening. It really was. Um, the race I did again earlier this year in Lapine, the Fire Mountain GP, that featured like maybe a 6 to 7 mile loop. Maybe it was 6 to 7 miles. Let's just say I did it 4 times. That's all I could do. The conditions were really slippery. It was hard. It was very hard. I was almost working harder to ride slow out there than riding fast out at China Hat. It was really hard. But it was no enduro though. I knew it was going to be over in like, you know, under 40 miles, if even that, really. So this was different. I mean, to sum this up, it's called an enduro, um, ISDE enduro. Just mostly you just got to have that endurance to get through the whoops, man. I had to sit and ride through a bunch of them sitting down. You'll see as my camera angle is good when I'm actually like sitting down. I had to sit down a bunch in test 3. I was too tired. I had to take sit down breaks for real. I couldn't lift the bars up through those loose whoops. There was no point in even trying to get the front end over those. I didn't know what my front end would be going into, and it was just tough. So yeah, it took me a long time. If anybody can actually sit there and watch the whole test, and learn from it, cool. But again, I'm saying it's it's not a fast run, and there's going to be lots of other fast videos on here for China Hat. To sum it up, I'm just showing that the average dude like myself can survive a 100-mile ISDE desert race. You know, you just have to practice. You got to ride a lot leading up to it. And me still being a new rider, um, I mean, I got my first bike when I was 33. I'm 47. So I would still consider myself a new rider, and I'm definitely new to racing still. So this whole thing is still new to me. Going out and riding with your buds is one thing, but signing up to do a race and saying I'll finish it, that just requires more practice. So it is possible for the newer rider to go out there and throw it down. You just have to be confident that you got enough practice in to do the whole thing. You know, there are classes that only run half of it, like the beginner class that I did last year. That was only half, and then you survive that, and you'll want more. You know, so it was fun practicing for it. I definitely look forward to going back out there and just lasting a little longer. One thing that is curious, I'm always curious about what people eat before they go racing. Like, how do we survive out there riding, 5 hours? Like, I started to get hungry when I came in at halftime. You'll see me reach for that blue thing. That was soup. I was trying to drink some soup real quick, and it kind of worked. I drank some before I went out. On the drive out, which is about an hour, I managed to drill in about 8 hard-boiled eggs in me. So I just eat them as I'm driving out because, you can just reach over and pop them in. So I got some eggs in me, I had some soup, and it felt pretty good. It felt like an okay combo. So, I mean, if I would suggest on your way out to riding, if it's hard to like eat something, like sit down and eat, like who the hell has time for that in the morning? You just want to go. I recommend the hard-boiled egg trick, the old Cool Hand Luke egg challenge, just drill them down on your way out. See how many you can throw in you. I mean, they're all protein. They're not greasy like a greasy breakfast place. That stuff's good, but it takes time, I actually was going to a little diner on the way out to the desert and eating breakfast in the morning, and it was pretty good. I'd get pancakes, and I'd last for a pretty long time out there, Like, whatever the breakfast was, it was awesome. I would take it down, and I would ride for hours and not be hungry. It was great. I just didn't have time for that. As it drew closer to race time, I didn't have time to be sitting down at the diner staring at the big bear, and waiting for food. I had to get the hell out there. So I just got some eggs, sprinkle them with spike, seasoning, and just take them down, and it works pretty good. And then the soup also worked good. Just throw some hot soup in the thermos, drink a little before you head out. You got to have your water when you're out there as well. I sucked down my whole bag. I took down my last little sucky at the end, thinking I had plenty of water left to drink some after I was done. My last pull, that sucker was empty. So next year, for probably going to want to refill that thing. So it's a good deal to just to know that you're going to stay on your minute, because then you can just do little things at the checkpoints to sort of keep you in line. Drink some water, you'll have time to actually, suck some water down. One of my bolts on my handguard started coming out. Oh God. So I had my little multi-tool in my bag, did that job. My damn bike started leaking gas again. But anyway, that's will be something that I'll have to take care of, Another couldn't do shit about that out there. But I mean, other than that, whiteout ran good. So it's just, you got to survive for over 5 hours. So I've been trying to like read articles about what people eat before they do stuff like this, because again, it's still a new thing for me to be out there for that long. All my practice days were just, I don't know, pretty much however my buds wanted to ride. Like once we come back to the trucks, that was it. Like no one was trying to go back out. I did a couple times, but it's just not as fun to go back out by yourself. Like all of a sudden the shadows start kicking in, conditions start changing, you're by yourself, and just the energy that you had with your friends out there is just gone. And going back out for another solo loop, I'd almost just rather ride the whole day solo than ride with friends, come back to the trucks, and then go back out by myself. I don't know. It just feels, just the vibe's different, you know? And so I did it a couple times because I had to, just because maybe we just did like 20 miles and I was just dying for more. So I would just go back out for a bit more, not much, but some. But, you know, there was plenty of good riding though to be had before China Hat. Switching up the spots too, like there's just lots of spots up and down, you know, like I got the Cascade Mountains here, the desert here, so there's just a lot of areas around here that really aren't that far, that it was just cool to switch it up. It just kept it really fresh. And I did not overdo it out at China Hat. I went out there, but just a handful of times, if that. But I got enough out there, you know, to where it's a huge area out there. So for, you know, for people looking to enter up for next year, yeah, it's worth coming over to camp. There's so many trails over there. Like, it's worth it to go over there and just camp for the weekend. And like, it just gets really dusty. Like, if you have to, well, I don't know. I mean, the race will be in April, so it's kind of a tough window, because with the race being in like end of spring, it's hard to, well, you just follow conditions. I mean, I'm just saying China Hat is worth coming to just to ride by itself. It's not like a place that has a race that one time and then it's not that rad afterwards. It's always killer out there. There's so many different types of climates and terrains and zones and trails. There's everything out there. So if anybody from Oregon, you know, wants to come ride China Hat, hit me up. We'll do it. That, you know, like somebody that knows about this race, that did it or is looking to do it, I'll meet up with you out there, for real. I promise. Enough already. Enough. Let's get to Special Test 3. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Craig Wesley. I was in 40 Amateur 2023 China Hat ISDE. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.
Check what the gas level was when he got here. Where was it?
Thanks, you guys. That was an awesome pit stop.
Okay. What's your time?
I got a few minutes, but
okay.
Better go up there. I don't even know where I go up there.
Yeah, right there. Just
okay.
Right there is check 3.
Totally.
So check 3. 12:46.
12:46
right now.
Yeah, you still got 3 minutes, dude.
Okay.
And you got all of that minute.
Yeah, so,
that's right.
So it's the same thing. Don't go through the checkpoints until your minutes up.
Sounds good. Good to go, y'all.
Good
Okay,
job,
check
staying
your
on.
gas.
Woo! Exciting.
5 miles an
Oh yeah.
hour.
Thank you
5
guys.
miles an hour.
I needed that. I would have zipped off.
Okay.
I totally forgot. Hit proof. Okay, great.
4th is yours. Have a good day.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.